The great hall of the Interstellar Council glittered with alien grandeur. Towering crystalline spires reflected the soft light of distant stars, and banners of countless civilizations fluttered in a gentle artificial breeze. Delegates from hundreds of worlds gathered, their forms ranging from gaseous entities that shimmered in color to towering insected beings whose eyes reflected entire galaxies. In the center of this magnificent assembly, one subject of discussion drew smirks, chuckles, and outright laughter. Earth. For millennia, humans had been seen as primitive. Their planet was a small, water-wrapped orb in a quiet corner of the Milky Way, home to a species considered amusingly fragile. And now, they had dared to send a single warship into the Council's jurisdiction, a lone vessel against the fleets of countless advanced civilizations. The audacity of it was almost laughable. Only one ship, a tall, armored being with 3 jointed limbs and a jagged, crystalline face asked, its voice like grinding metal. Do they think this is a negotiation tactic or a form of entertainment? Perhaps they simply wish to be admired for their courage. Another, a soft, ethereal entity floating above its chair, said, eyes flickering like liquid light. But a single ship cannot stand against even a minor fleet of our scouts. Courage, scoffed a rotund, amphibian-like diplomat with a resonating croak. It is arrogance disguised as courage. One vessel is hardly a statement. It is a joke. Laughter spread through the chamber. Holographic projections of the USS Resolute flickered in the air above the council floor, displaying a sleek, silver hull that seemed almost modest compared to the monstrous warships of the other civilizations. The ship was elegant but small, no larger than a medium-class cruiser in alien terms. Its weapons, although advanced, were dwarfed by the massive energy cannons and swarm drones that adorned the fleets of other species. On Earth, far from the Council's mocking echoes, the atmosphere was quiet but tense. The USS Resolute rested in orbit, suspended in the void like a silver sentinel. Docking clamps had released, engines hummed softly, and the ship's crew prepared for the journey that would take them across thousands of light-years of unknown space. Admiral Selene Ward stood in the command center, eyes scanning the viewports where stars streaked in long trails as the ship's systems engaged faster than light travel. Her uniform was simple but precise, every insignia polished to reflect light. She exuded calm authority, the kind born of both experience and confidence. Around her, her crew moved efficiently, checking systems, recalibrating sensors, and running simulations of potential encounters. Admiral, said Lieutenant Rena Cho, her voice steady despite the subtle excitement in her eyes. All systems report optimal performance. Propulsion, shields, and weapons are online. Crew morale is high. We are ready to depart. Ward nodded, her gaze distant. They will not see us coming, not in the way they think. They mock what they do not understand. Remember, Rena, history has shown that humans excel not through brute force alone, but through ingenuity, strategy, and persistence. Understood, Admiral, Rena replied, checking a holographic display showing the projected course through uncharted sectors. In the Council, the discussion continued, oblivious to the quiet determination of the humans. What will they accomplish with that one ship? Another alien delegate asked. Even if they reach the outer territories, they are outmatched at every turn. A murmur of agreement swept through the assembly. Few considered the possibility that humans might rely on something other than sheer numbers. Few imagined that a species so underestimated could combine creativity, adaptability, and strategy to overcome obstacles that would cripple larger forces. But on Earth, the crew of the Resolute were not deterred. They trained, planned, and prepared, knowing that the galaxy had underestimated them for the last time. As the final checks were completed and the ship's engines powered up for the first jump into interstellar space, a quiet thrill ran through the crew. Admiral Ward's voice came over the comms, steady and commanding. Prepare for departure. Remember who we are. Remember what we represent. This ship carries the hopes and ingenuity of an entire planet. Let them mock. Let them doubt. We will show them the strength of Earth. With that, the USS Resolute disengaged its docking clamps, engines flaring, and shot into the void, leaving behind the laughter of the Council and heading toward the unknown. In the silence of space, one ship held the potential to change the galaxy forever. The USS Resolute cut through the endless darkness of space, leaving the familiar warmth of Earth behind. Stars stretched into long, shimmering streaks as the ship engaged its faster-than-light drive. The hum of the engines was constant, almost soothing, a reminder that the vessel, though small, was built to endure what even the most advanced alien fleets would struggle to survive. On the bridge, Admiral Selene Ward stood at the command console, her eyes scanning the vast, star-dotted void ahead. The crew moved with quiet precision, their training evident in every motion. Sensors beeped softly, monitoring cosmic anomalies that could spell disaster for a vessel of any size. Even a single miscalculation in these uncharted sectors could mean the end of humanity's first interstellar warship. Lieutenant Rena Cho approached Ward, holding a holographic display of a dense asteroid field ahead. "Admiral, we are approaching the Olaris Belt. Sensors show rapid movement of rocks and debris clusters. Course correction will require precise navigation." Ward studied the display. "We anticipated this. Initiate trajectory adjustments and deploy the external maneuvering drones. Remember, Rena, every challenge is an opportunity. The others see us as fragile. That gives us the element of surprise." As the crew worked, tiny drones detached from the ship, weaving between the jagged rocks, scanning for the safest path. The Resolute followed, twisting and banking with a grace unexpected for a warship of its size. While the alien fleets relied on sheer numbers and overwhelming firepower, humans relied on strategy, ingenuity, and adaptability. Hours passed, then days. The asteroid field gave way to a region of unstable gravity waves, ripples in space that threatened to pull the ship off course. Crew members tightened their grips on consoles, watching as the sensors flickered under the strain. "Adjust the quantum stabilizers," Ward commanded. "Synchronize shields with gravitic flux patterns. This ship is small, but it is capable of far more than the galaxy assumes." The crew followed her instructions with practiced precision. Slowly, the Resolute glided through the waves, a silver blade threading between unseen hazards. For a moment, there was silence, broken only by the hum of engines and the faint buzz of communications channels. "Admiral," Cho said, breaking the quiet, "new signals detected. They're faint, but they appear to be patrols from unknown civilizations, possibly scouts." Ward leaned forward, eyes narrowing. "Good. Let's make first contact under our terms. We may be alone, but we are not powerless." The ship's stealth systems activated, and the patrols passed without detecting the humans. Ward watched the radar, thinking about the irony. A species mocked for its small fleet was now navigating dangers that many vast armadas could not. Humans were proving, even to themselves, that they were more than what the galaxy expected. During long hours of travel, the crew bonded. Engineers and navigators shared strategies, and Ward spent time with younger crew members, emphasizing that courage and creativity were as vital as any weapon. The Thunder cannons, powerful but delicate, were checked repeatedly, calibrated for maximum efficiency. Each system on the ship was a testament to humanity's ability to innovate under pressure. Even meals became exercises in efficiency, with carefully rationed supplies and compact, nutrient-dense foods. Crew members joked lightly to keep morale high, laughter echoing faintly in the metal corridors. Though the journey was long and fraught with unseen dangers, the human spirit remained unbroken. One night, as the ship glided silently past a shimmering nebula, Ward stood at the viewport, gazing at the swirl of colors. "We are small," she murmured, "but small does not mean weak. One ship, one crew, one planet behind us, enough to make the galaxy take notice." Unknown to the humans, across the stars, alien observers recorded the lone ship's progress. Initially dismissed as insignificant, the reports of its smooth navigation through asteroid fields and unstable gravity zones began to raise questions. How could a single vessel survive where fleets of hundreds might fail? The whispers of curiosity and doubt spread quietly among the observers. For the Resolute and its crew, the mission was simple: survive, adapt, and continue forward. Every hazard overcome, every calculation precise, every innovation tested was a step toward proving that humans, underestimated for so long, could achieve the impossible. As the ship approached the outer regions of known space, the sense of anticipation grew. The first contact with alien patrols was imminent. Humanity's audacity was about to meet the galaxy's skepticism, and the USS Resolute would soon demonstrate that courage and ingenuity could outweigh size and numbers. Admiral Ward's voice carried through the ship's intercom, calm but resolute. "Prepare yourselves. We are alone, but we are not helpless. The galaxy has mocked us for sending one ship. It is time they learn the cost of underestimating Earth." The crew, ready and determined, nodded silently. The voyage had been long, but the real test was only beginning. The vast darkness of uncharted space stretched before the USS Resolute, broken only by distant stars and swirling nebulae. For days, the lone human ship had traversed sectors untouched by human eyes, its small hull cutting through the void with purpose and precision. On the bridge, the crew remained vigilant, knowing that at any moment their presence could draw the attention of alien civilizations that had long dismissed humans as insignificant. Lieutenant Rena Cho's eyes flickered over the sensor array. "Admiral, we're detecting multiple vessels approaching. Unknown identification. Size indicates a patrol squadron, approximately 10 times our combined tonnage." Admiral Selene Ward's expression remained calm, her fingers tracing the edge of the command console. "Show me," she said. A holographic display projected the approaching fleet, sleek angular ships bristling with weaponry and glowing shields. Their formation was tight, designed to intimidate intruders. Most would have seen them as unbeatable, but Ward saw opportunity. "Stealth protocols on," she ordered. "We observe first, learn their patterns. Strength lies in understanding, not just firepower." The Resolute slipped between the patrol's sensor range, its hull reflecting no detectable energy and no electronic signal. The alien vessels passed nearby, confident and unaware. One patrol, glowing a faint azure, veered slightly, scanning the sector. Its sensors passed over the human ship, yet detected nothing. Cho whispered almost in disbelief, "They don't see us." Ward's lips curved into a faint smile. "Not yet. Let's choose our moment. When we act, it will be decisive and precise." Hours passed as the crew tracked the patrols. Patterns emerged, and the humans noted weak points in the formation, shield frequencies, and communication protocols. Unlike the larger alien fleets that relied on overwhelming numbers, the humans used strategy, adaptability, and quick thinking. Every piece of data collected became a tool, every anomaly a potential advantage. Finally, Ward gave the command, "Engage, but selectively. Show our capability without unnecessary destruction. Precision is our strength." The Resolute dropped out of stealth, appearing behind the largest patrol vessel. The thunder cannons powered up, a low hum vibrating through the ship. These weapons, designed for extreme precision, could disable critical systems without destroying the entire ship. Humans relied on their ingenuity to maximize their impact. The first volley struck the lead vessel's engines. Sparks and energy flares erupted, causing it to drift uncontrollably. The other patrol ships scrambled, attempting to regroup, but the humans had anticipated their reactions. Drones deployed, electronic countermeasures scrambled communications, and every human action complemented the ship's targeting systems. "Target their propulsion arrays next," Ward instructed. "We need to demonstrate capability without overkill." The crew executed flawlessly. One by one, the alien ships faltered. Engines failed, weapons went offline, and panic rippled through the patrol formation. They had underestimated a species they considered primitive, and now that misjudgment cost them control. On the bridge, a technician gasped, "Admiral, they're retreating." Ward nodded, her calm demeanor never faltering. Let them carry the lesson back to their fleets. Humanity is not to be underestimated." As the alien ships retreated, sending warnings to nearby systems, the crew of the Resolute allowed themselves a moment of quiet satisfaction. Engineers checked systems, recalibrating sensors and weapons, while the bridge crew recorded every detail. The first contact had not only succeeded but had sent a clear message. Humans were clever, adaptable, and capable of more than raw firepower alone. Ward addressed the crew, her voice steady. "We've done more than survive. We've shown that intellect, creativity, and coordination matter as much as strength. Let the galaxy witness what humans can do when they work together." Cho smiled, plotting the next course. "Reports indicate nearby systems are receiving data about our engagement. Curiosity and caution are spreading faster than we expected." Ward nodded thoughtfully. "Good. Let them think twice. The galaxy must learn that underestimating humans is a mistake they cannot afford." Outside, stars stretched into streaks of light as the Resolute continued its journey. The crew felt the weight of their mission, not as explorers or soldiers alone, but as representatives of an entire planet. Every calculation, every maneuver, every choice reinforced one truth. The galaxy had misjudged humanity, and the time for that to change had come. The human ship moved forward, quiet but confident. The first surprise had been delivered, but larger fleets awaited, and the true challenge was yet to come. For now, one small vessel had begun rewriting the rules of the galaxy. The USS Resolute sailed silently through the outer sectors of the galaxy, leaving the remnants of the first alien patrol behind. On the bridge, the hum of the ship's systems was accompanied by a quiet sense of anticipation. Humanity had proven itself once, but Admiral Selene Ward knew that the real test lay ahead. Larger fleets would not be fooled by stealth or clever maneuvers. To survive, the crew had to understand and master the ship's greatest secret, the Thunder Cannons. The Thunder Cannons were unlike any weapon in known space. They combined quantum energy amplification with gravitic targeting, enabling them to hit precise points on enemy vessels with devastating force. One well-placed shot could disable a capital ship's engines or cripple its shield systems without destroying the hull entirely. It was a weapon of strategy, not sheer destruction, a perfect fit for a crew that relied on ingenuity over numbers. Ward walked among the crew in the main armory bay, where engineers were performing final calibrations. "These weapons are our edge," she explained. "They are powerful, but only if used with discipline. One shot in the wrong place can waste the advantage we've worked so hard to build." Chief Engineer Malik Reyes looked up from a console, nodding. "Admiral, the calibration is complete. The quantum arrays are stable, and gravitic alignment is optimized. The cannons are ready for precision deployment." "Excellent," Ward said. She turned to Lieutenant Cho. "Rena, I want you to run simulations for potential engagements. Predict enemy formations, shield frequencies, and countermeasures. We need to know where to strike before we see the battle." Cho's fingers danced across the controls as holographic simulations projected alien fleets in three-dimensional arrays above her station. "Simulations indicate that with optimal cannon placement, we can disable up to 80% of enemy systems before they even realize what's happening," she said. Ward's eyes gleamed with determination. "Then we make sure our first strikes are decisive. The galaxy will not underestimate us again." Outside the ship, the stars streaked past as the Resolute approached a densely populated region. Intelligence reports suggested a patrol fleet was stationed near a strategic nebula, its vessels large and heavily armed. The aliens believed that their numbers and size made them untouchable. Humans, however, relied on precision, teamwork, and timing. "Admiral," Cho said, her voice steady despite the tension, "the fleet is within scanning range. They are unaware of our approach. We have a window to plan the first strike." Ward nodded. "Good, keep us cloaked until the last moment. We strike when the odds appear against us. That is when our advantage is greatest." The crew worked like a single organism, every action coordinated and purposeful. Engineers monitored energy flows, recalibrating the Thunder Cannons to compensate for gravitational anomalies. Tactical officers analyzed patrol patterns, projecting probable maneuvers and counterattacks. Even the youngest crew members contributed, running simulations and offering creative solutions to complex problems. Finally, the moment arrived. The Resolute emerged from stealth behind the alien fleet. The Thunder Cannons hummed softly, the energy within them building like a coiled spring. Ward gave the order, "Engage! Target propulsion and communication arrays first. Disable their coordination before they can react." The first volleys struck with surgical precision. Alien engines sputtered, shields flickered, and communication links went offline. Confusion rippled through the enemy ranks as the humans executed maneuvers that combined speed, stealth, and intelligence. The fleet, once confident, found itself paralyzed by a single small ship. On the bridge, Ward's voice was calm but commanding. "Maintain formation. Strike only when necessary. Every shot counts." Cho adjusted targeting parameters on the fly. "All systems responding. Cannons are performing beyond expectations. The fleet is disoriented. We can exploit their disarray." The engagement ended quickly, not in total destruction but in strategic dominance. The alien fleet retreated, leaving behind a clear path and a profound message. Humans were no longer to be underestimated. Ward allowed herself a brief moment of pride. "Remember this, crew. It's not the size of the ship or the number of weapons that matters. It is how you use them. Ingenuity, discipline, and courage, that is our true strength." As the Resolute continued its journey, the crew understood that they were not merely fighting for survival. They were demonstrating that humanity's combination of intelligence, strategy, and innovation could rival even the greatest powers of the galaxy. The Thunder Cannons were a tool, yes, but it was the human mind that made them unstoppable. And ahead of them, the galaxy waited. Larger fleets, more cunning adversaries, and challenges that would test not only the ship but the spirit of Earth itself. The void ahead of the USS Resolute shimmered with the combined might of the largest alien fleet the humans had encountered so far. Hundreds of ships stretched across the blackness, massive, angular, and bristling with energy weapons that could obliterate a city-sized planet in minutes. To any other species, the sight would be terrifying. To Admiral Selene Ward and her crew, it was a challenge to be mastered. "Admiral," Lieutenant Rena Cho said, her voice steady, though tension lingered in her eyes, "our sensors indicate coordinated formations. They expect us to panic, to retreat, or to be destroyed before we can act." Ward studied the display. "They believe numbers equal strength. They have yet to learn the danger of underestimating humans. Prepare the thunder cannons. This is our moment." The crew moved with precise efficiency. Every system was checked, every weapon calibrated, and every tactical scenario reviewed. The small ship's advantage was not in size or firepower alone, but in the combination of technology, ingenuity, and human adaptability. As the alien fleet advanced, the Resolute slipped between their sensor sweeps. Ward had studied their patterns, their predictable maneuvers, and their overconfidence. A well-placed strike could cripple key vessels before the enemy even realized they were under attack. "Focus on the command ships first," Ward ordered. "If we disable their leadership, the rest will falter." Cho nodded, fingers dancing across the control panel. The thunder cannons hummed, gathering quantum energy and aligning gravitic arrays with surgical precision. Engineers monitored energy flux, ready to redirect reserves at a moment's notice. The crew worked as one mind, each member understanding that their skill and coordination were the true weapons. Then Ward gave the order, "Fire." The thunder cannons unleashed their energy, striking the command vessels simultaneously. Engines shuddered, shields faltered, and communication arrays overloaded. Confusion rippled through the alien fleet. Squadrons veered off course, firing blindly into empty space. The humans were no longer simply surviving, they were dictating the battle. "Excellent," Ward said calmly. "Now exploit the chaos, flank and disable propulsion on the remaining ships." Drones deployed from the Resolute, jamming signals and disrupting targeting systems. Alien vessels collided, misfired, and struggled to regroup. Despite their vast numbers, the fleet could not counter the humans' precision and coordination. One technician whispered in awe, They're falling apart." "Maintain discipline," Ward replied. "We do not need to destroy them completely, just enough to prove that one ship can turn the tide." The battle continued for hours. The Resolute darted between alien vessels, its thunder cannons firing with deadly accuracy. Engineers rerouted power to shields at critical moments, while tactical officers predicted enemy maneuvers with uncanny precision. Humans were not relying on brute force. They relied on cleverness, anticipation, and teamwork. At last, the largest alien warships began retreating, engines faltering, systems crippled. Across the void, the remnants of the fleet communicated in shock. A single human ship, small by any measure, had outmaneuvered and disabled hundreds of ships designed for total dominance. Ward allowed herself a brief moment of satisfaction. "Remember this, crew," she said, her voice steady. "We did not win because we were bigger or stronger. We won because we were smarter, faster, and more coordinated. The galaxy must understand that size alone does not determine victory." Cho smiled, her fingers flying over the controls as she confirmed the fleet's retreat. "Reports indicate nearby systems are observing the engagement. Our victory is spreading. Humans are no longer invisible." Ward nodded. "Good. Let them see that Earth is not a backwater. Let them know that humans are capable of changing the rules of warfare entirely." As the Resolute continued its course, the crew took a brief respite. Engineers repaired minor damage, while officers analyzed data from the battle, refining tactics for the challenges still ahead. Every member of the crew understood that this was only the beginning. Larger fleets, smarter enemies, and unknown dangers awaited them. But for now, humanity had made its first mark on the galaxy. One ship, one crew, and a planet's worth of ingenuity had turned the tide. They had proven that courage, strategy, and resourcefulness could achieve what no one expected. Outside the viewport, the stars stretched into long streaks as the Resolute sailed onward, silent and unyielding. The galaxy had witnessed a single human ship triumph over impossible odds. The legend of Earth had begun. And somewhere far across the void, alien civilizations whispered in disbelief. They had underestimated humanity, and it had cost them dearly. The USS Resolute sailed through the black expanse, its sleek silver hull cutting a solitary path across the stars. Word of the first major battle had already spread through the networks of nearby civilizations. Alien fleets whispered rumors of the small human ship that had taken on hundreds of vessels and emerged victorious. Skepticism gave way to curiosity, and curiosity to cautious respect. On the bridge, Admiral Selene Ward observed the quiet stars, reflecting on how rapidly perception could shift. "The galaxy is beginning to notice," she said. "Not because of brute force, but because we've shown them what humans are capable of when we combine ingenuity, strategy, and courage." Lieutenant Rena Cho nodded, eyes flickering over the data feeds. "Reports indicate several nearby systems are reassessing their fleets. Some are recalling patrols, others are sending envoys to understand what happened." Ward's gaze remained steady. "Good. Let them think twice. We have more than strength. We have the advantage of surprise, creativity, and adaptability. That will serve us well in the battles to come." The crew moved efficiently, but there was a palpable sense of pride. Engineers recalibrated systems, ensuring the Thunder cannons were ready for any future engagement. Tactical officers studied alien communication patterns and fleet formations. Even minor systems, like navigation and life support, were optimized to perfection. The Resolute had survived the impossible once. It was preparing to do so again. "Admiral," Cho said, breaking the quiet, "we've received messages from civilizations previously skeptical of humans. Some request dialogue, others suggest alliances. They want to understand the capabilities that allowed one ship to overcome so many." Ward considered this. "We must be careful. Cooperation is valuable, but we do not reveal more than necessary. Let them see the power of humanity, but not the full extent until we are ready. Strategy is not just in battle, it's in perception." Outside the ship, alien scouts carefully observed the Resolute. Their reports were filled with uncertainty. How could a species so seemingly primitive outmaneuver and defeat fleets designed for absolute dominance? The whispers among the galaxy's councils began to shift. Perhaps humans were not to be dismissed. Perhaps they were something more. Within the ship, crew members exchanged stories of their experiences, strengthening camaraderie. Each had witnessed firsthand the power of human ingenuity. Every calculated maneuver, every clever strike, and every precise firing of the Thunder cannons reinforced the truth that brains could triumph over sheer numbers. Ward gathered the bridge crew for a brief meeting. "We have demonstrated capability, but this is only the beginning. The galaxy will respond in ways both predictable and unexpected. We must remain vigilant, disciplined, and ready to adapt. This is what sets us apart from the rest." Cho smiled, her confidence growing alongside her admiration for the crew. "Admiral, I think they are beginning to respect humans. The tide is turning. We are no longer seen as a backwater world. They are beginning to realize that we cannot be ignored." Ward nodded. "Exactly. Let them respect us, but never mistake it for weakness. Strength is not just firepower. It is the ability to think, to anticipate, and to act when others cannot. Remember, we carry the reputation of a planet on our shoulders. One misstep and that trust could be lost." As the Resolute continued its journey, humans observed the galaxy with a mixture of curiosity and resolve. Each encounter, each challenge, reinforced their belief in the combination of skill, courage, and intelligence. Even the smallest crew members contributed, finding solutions in unexpected ways, proving that a team working together could overcome obstacles that would crush larger forces. Across the stars, the galaxy began to take notice. Fleets that had once dismissed humanity were now cautious. Envoys arrived to offer dialogue, hoping to understand the species that had single-handedly altered the balance of power. Some sought alliances, others merely watched, trying to decipher how one planet had created a ship capable of such feats. Ward leaned on the railing of the bridge, her eyes on the distant stars. "We have changed the perception of Earth," she said softly. "One ship, one crew, one planet's worth of ingenuity. The galaxy will not forget this." Cho glanced at her, a hint of admiration in her expression. "Admiral, I believe they are beginning to fear underestimating humans." Ward's lips curved into a faint smile. "Let them, but fear is only part of it. Respect and understanding are what will shape the future. This is the turning tide, and humanity stands at its forefront. The Resolute pressed onward, a solitary beacon of determination in a galaxy that had once dismissed it. Humans had proven that courage, strategy, and ingenuity could achieve what no one expected. The galaxy was watching, and for the first time, it was beginning to understand that Earth was not a planet to be overlooked. The USS Resolute glided silently through the void, the hum of its engines a calm counterpoint to the storm that awaited. Across the sectors, intelligence had confirmed what Ward had anticipated. The galaxy's most powerful fleets had united, determined to eliminate the human ship once and for all. Hundreds of warships, each bristling with energy weapons and shields capable of withstanding entire planetary assaults, now formed an enormous armada stretching across the blackness. On the bridge, Admiral Selene Ward observed the formation through the main viewport. Her crew was tense, but every member carried the quiet confidence that had brought them this far. "This is the culmination of everything we've done," she said. "They believe that overwhelming numbers alone will destroy us. They are about to learn how wrong they are." Lieutenant Rena Cho's fingers flew across the tactical console, analyzing the enemy fleet's formations. "Admiral, they are positioned to trap us in a crossfire. Their command vessels are at the center, flanked by cruisers and support ships. Any direct engagement could be catastrophic." Ward nodded. "Then we fight smart, not directly. We will use the thunder cannons to neutralize key targets first, strike their command and coordination points. When they falter, we exploit the chaos." The crew moved with precise synchronization. Engineers monitored energy output, rerouting power to shields when the armada fired preliminary volleys. Tactical officers recalculated targeting arrays constantly, adjusting for gravitational anomalies and unexpected maneuvers. Even minor crew members contributed by running simulations and offering tactical suggestions. "Prepare for engagement," Ward commanded. "Remember, one ship can change the course of this battle if we act decisively." The Resolute slipped into the shadows of an asteroid cluster, remaining undetected until the perfect moment. Then, with a sudden flash of energy, the thunder cannons fired. Quantum beams struck the central command vessels simultaneously, crippling engines and overloading shield arrays. Communication links between the Armada's ships faltered, creating confusion across the fleet. "Target propulsion on the flanking cruisers," Ward ordered. "They cannot maneuver without coordination." The crew executed flawlessly. Ships staggered, collided, and misfired as the Resolute darted between volleys, precise and untouchable. Drones deployed from the human vessel, jamming signals and disrupting enemy targeting systems. Each maneuver, each shot, was calculated to maximize impact while minimizing risk. "Admiral," Cho said, her voice filled with a mixture of awe and determination, "the fleet is breaking apart. Their coordination is gone. We can control the engagement entirely." Ward's expression remained calm, though her eyes reflected the gravity of the moment. "Maintain discipline. Victory is not measured by destruction alone. It is measured by strategy, precision, and the lessons we teach the galaxy." Hours passed as the battle raged. The alien armada, once confident in its superiority, now staggered under the relentless precision of a single human ship. Every attempt to regroup was met with countermeasures, electronic disruption, and targeted strikes from the thunder cannons. Even the largest vessels faltered, their weapons useless against the unexpected tactics of the Resolute. At last, the remaining enemy ships began retreating, engines failing, shields flickering. Across the void, alien commanders communicated in disbelief. How could a single, relatively small ship disable hundreds of vessels built for domination? Humans, once dismissed as primitive, had demonstrated not just courage, but ingenuity and tactical brilliance. Ward allowed herself a brief moment of pride. "Crew, you have done more than survive. You have proven that intelligence, creativity, and coordination are as powerful as any weapon. The galaxy will not underestimate Earth again." Cho smiled, fingers flying over controls as she confirmed the retreat. "Admiral, observers report communication channels across multiple systems are broadcasting our victory. They are beginning to reconsider their assumptions about humans." Ward nodded. "Good. Let them learn that size and numbers alone are not the measure of strength. Humanity has shown that courage, discipline, and strategy can triumph where brute force fails." The Resolute drifted through the aftermath, the void silent except for the gentle hum of its engines. Repairs were made, systems recalibrated, and crew members reflected on the magnitude of what had been achieved. Humanity had faced the greatest fleet in the galaxy and emerged victorious, not through overwhelming power, but through precision, coordination, and the indomitable human spirit. As the stars stretched into long streaks outside the hull, Ward looked at her crew and said softly, "This is not the end. It is the beginning. The galaxy has seen what humans can do, and from now on they will watch with respect, and perhaps even caution. One planet, one ship, one crew has changed the course of history." And across the galaxy, the message was clear: never underestimate humanity. The void was calm, almost serene after the chaos of the final battle. The USS Resolute drifted among the stars, its hull gleaming under the distant light of countless suns. The human ship, once dismissed as insignificant, had become a symbol of ingenuity, courage, and determination. Across the galaxy, civilizations whispered of the lone vessel that had faced impossible odds and triumphed. On the bridge, Admiral Selene Ward surveyed the crew. Each member bore the quiet exhaustion of battle, but also a sense of pride that could not be measured. They had achieved what few thought possible. Humanity had earned a place among the galaxy's respected civilizations, not through numbers or brute force, but through intelligence, strategy, and unity. Lieutenant Rena Cho leaned over the tactical console, analyzing the aftermath of the alien retreat. "Admiral, communications are pouring in from multiple systems. They're requesting formal dialogue, offers of alliance, and information about our tactics and technology. Humanity is being recognized as a serious power." Ward nodded. "We will respond carefully. We have shown strength, but it is time to show wisdom. Respect is earned not just on the battlefield, but in how we conduct ourselves afterward." The crew moved with quiet efficiency, reviewing systems, conducting repairs, and cataloging every detail of the engagements. The Thunder cannons were recalibrated, their quantum arrays stabilized, and the ship itself shone as a testament to human craftsmanship. But beyond technology, it was the human spirit, the courage to face overwhelming odds, the creativity to turn strategy into action, that had captured the attention of the galaxy. Ward addressed her crew over the intercom, her voice calm but filled with pride. "Crew of the Resolute, you have proven that humanity is not to be underestimated. One ship, one crew, and one planet's worth of ingenuity has changed the perception of the galaxy. Let this victory remind us that courage, discipline, and collaboration are our greatest weapons." Cho added, her voice steady, "We have not just survived, we have rewritten expectations. The galaxy will remember the day a single human ship stood against impossible odds and prevailed." Beyond the ship, alien civilizations reevaluated their assumptions. Once dismissive fleets now regarded humans with caution, some with awe. Envoys arrived from distant systems, not to challenge, but to understand, to learn, and in some cases, to offer alliances. The Interstellar Council convened anew, this time with a measure of respect and acknowledgement for Earth that had never existed before. In the quiet of the ship, Ward stood at the viewport, gazing at the stars. "We have done more than win battles," she said softly. "We have changed the way the galaxy sees us. Earth will no longer be ignored, and humans will no longer be underestimated." Cho joined her, watching the streaks of distant light. "Admiral, do you think they truly understand what humans are capable of?" Ward smiled faintly. Some will learn over time. What matters is that they cannot dismiss us any longer. That is enough for now. Humanity's journey among the stars has only just begun." As the Resolute continued its journey, the crew reflected on what had been accomplished. The battles had tested every skill, every ounce of courage, and every creative solution they could conceive. Yet it was the human spirit, the willingness to face the impossible with determination and intelligence, that had carried them through. In distant systems, alien historians would record the events as a turning point in galactic history. A single human ship, underestimated and mocked, had changed the dynamics of power and respect across the galaxy. Stories of the USS Resolute spread, inspiring not only humans but other civilizations who saw the triumph of intellect and courage over sheer numbers. Ward turned back to her crew. "We have shown that small numbers, when combined with ingenuity and unity, can achieve greatness. Never forget this. The galaxy has learned our lesson. Let us continue to represent humanity with the same courage and integrity that brought us here." The stars stretched endlessly beyond the viewport, a reminder of the vast universe yet to explore. Humanity had carved its place among the stars, not through domination, but through brilliance, resilience, and heart. The galaxy had listened, and now it respected the name of Earth. And in that silence among the stars, one thing was clear. Humans would no longer be ignored. They had arrived, and their thunder had echoed across the galaxy, never to be forgotten.